start. We've had the weather update. I can see chat on my left here, so if I keep looking to my left, that's what I'm doing. But
why didn't you have the camera above chat? That's like a sensible person.
Odd.
yeah, here we go. Would you describe yourself as a competitive person, Corn
No.
What's a lie?
Yeah, he's also a liar.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do some recapping. So what's the plan for today? Well, we're going to go through the teams in the champs and 1A and 1B if we have time.
We're going to do what we started on Monday, only better and quicker.
Yeah, only better and quicker.
Probably to the finish.
And then we can look at the teams. Then we'll look at the schedule for week 1. Some games have obviously been played already, but it's fine. Either one of you, can you have a look at the betting for the games that haven't been played yet, so we can just say who's fancied in each one?
I can.
Great. And then the other thing, Core Knight, if you have ready the Psychic Bastard competition from the OCC,
yeah, I can do that.
So you can say what people think, because after we look at the teams, we're going to guess who's going to finish in which place as well, and we'll try and record it.
In fact, I happen to be in that as we speak already. Don't even need to check.
Right, I'm just limbering up. Right, so let's go. Okay, so
just one quick thing. So, do we have like a rough sort of idea of how long the stream will last for? Do you reckon we finish by around 2?
Yeah, we've got to finish at 2 anyway.
Okay. So let's try and keep it kind of quick.
Snappy.
Yeah.
Okay. That's us told. Cool, no. Right.
Do you have a meeting at 2:00 as well?
I don't, but I've got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Busy man.
That's part of being unemployed.
Yeah. I'm sure something will come up soon. Okay, well let's start the champs. Well, as we saw, promoted last season, Kjeldstad is first with his Vamp team back to back. He is coming in at 2100. We did some discussion last time about talking about spiraling expenses and so on. So we'll get to that in a minute. But he's got the Magic Dome, which I'm not sure Vamps need. But anyway, I don't know. See what you guys think. I probably wouldn't go for the Magic Dome, to be honest.
So, I mean, there's one big reason to have it, which is sweltering heat, right? I mean, sweltering heat can be very punishing for Vamps if they lose Vamps. Also, I mean, Blizzard, Kjeldstad likes his GFIs, so Blizzard could be a bit painful as well.
Hence the name, GFI Dome.
The first thing I thought of was Blizzard. Like, but yeah, you're right. The sweltering heat would affect them pretty badly as well. Maybe it's also like, you've got enough money, you should buy a stadium. Which stadium do Vamps, is best for Vamps? I don't know, but
Wizard I think would be the go-to, wouldn't it? Surely.
No, the Wizard.
No, the opposite.
It's adding more variance, and it's not really.
Well, and also the point that the fact you've got a strength 5 blodge, Agi 4 ball carrier. You don't want your opponents to have wizards, given the chance, right? You want to.
I mean, to me, the default upgrade when you don't know what to get is the sandwich kiosk, which is it takes out throw a rock and bribes. I think free bribe. I think
the pixel hugging choice.
Well, I mean, if you've got a strength 5 blodge vamp, you probably don't want it being killed by a rock. But anyway.
Yeah. Or foul to death.
No, that's true. 85, 32, 54 is coming in at. And yeah, if we look at the team, it's looking pretty battered, to be quite honest with you. But that's kind of what you'd expect anyway for a Vamp team at this level. But as I think you were saying last time, Cord Knight, spiraling expenses are in full effect. So what does he? When Tim comes back, he basically earns no cash for even if he wins, right? Is that the case?
Broadly speaking, yeah, basically, yeah. He'll be at minus 60 if all players are healthy, right? So yeah, if you roll a 6, you're not getting any money.
So worth mentioning, he now has 4 legend vamps, and one of his up and coming vamps is Edge 5.
Yeah. The appropriately named Bloat, who I'm sure is not far from his next level.
Yeah.
He's missing 1 for the first game, so that's for a bonus for his opponent. I mean, the thralls are the thralls, right? I mean, he can't even afford to replace any of them as it stands. Well, he could actually buy one. He's got 50k in the bank, but I'm sure he's holding on to that. For the inevitable, maybe this season, maybe not, spiral of destruction.
No bench in his first match. And I think he's up against. Is he up against?
He's against Javelin and the Wolves of the Cala, and there are 300 TV below him.
Yeah,
you know,
probably have 13 or 14 players. So
yeah, they have 13 players. Yeah.
Yeah, he might struggle in terms of not having a bench.
Yeah, I think. Right.
Yeah, any game where attrition happens, he's in trouble, right?
His two Vamps 12 and 15. I think they're. I mean, we've not seen James Cook's latest graphic yet. I'm pretty sure he's not done it yet, but I think they're probably, if not then certainly top 3 most experienced players in the whole of the OCC, right? I think 356, 357 for SPP.
Yeah. I think they were the highest, above Snowdrop and whatever it is.
Yeah, Snowdrop.
Sundrop.
If I remember correctly, on BB1, if you did get to 10,000 SPP through cheating, you did get an extra skill, didn't you? I think.
So in BB2, you get a skill at 1006 SPP.
1006, right? So
yeah.
Not far off. 700 more to go. That's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so that's the Vamps. Well done. Right, defending champions next. We should also mention that Kjellstad has won a couple of times with this team, OCC.
Yeah, noticeably when it was around this TV, but actually had 15 or 16 players, right? So
yeah, it had a bigger squad, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, next one is MB Carmack's defending champions. They are coming in, as my screen loads, at 1830 TV. They've got just 11 players as well. He has the security gate, so no riots or pitch invasions. 76, 29, 48 he's coming in at. So what do you think of these boys, as I add Danton to the streaming title?
Yeah, I mean they're not amazing, are they? The team is not really what won it. I think it's
but at the same time, he won it last season with a pretty similar looking team, right? He didn't really lose any critical players, did he?
Oh, the other way around. Yeah, he's gained levels. The team is better than it was last season in champs, frankly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
I think the key difference this season is obviously it's a much more health heavy division than last time, which was a more bashy kind of makeup of teams. So be interesting to see if his team can compete with a lot of elves.
Yeah, I think we start to say he's got 3 tackle, but no tackle piling on, which is obviously Elf Bane. But then Stupid Adrian perhaps isn't far from piling on. He's on 45 out of 51 SPP with Blackle and Mighty Blow already. So maybe that will be his first pick for that player when they level.
I mean, the division is almost entirely AV 8 and 9. I would get Claw rather than piling on, just because of the cost of having to lay down on the ground when you pile on. I think I think Carmack is the kind of player who cares about positioning and stuff enough that he will actually go for the use of Claw rather than the pure damage dealing of
well, you say that, but we've heard the lamentations coming from him regarding Clueless Tina, so obviously he had a fondness for a bombing killer.
Yeah, obviously everyone loves a claw bomber, but the you need the basics before you get the cherry on the top, right? The piling on is a nice to have rather than a
tackle palm. To me, is more effective against elves than just claw or mighty blow tackle. He's already got 3 claw mighty blow.
Yeah, the pure numbers that is true, but laying a player on the ground is tactically terrible, right? Generally, so.
Yeah, but you don't just mash the button. You do it when it's a keep. Well, you can mash the button. I mean,
Yeah, you meant to do it. You meant to do it discreetly, aren't you? Not wantonly.
Some players will definitely mash the button, but I reckon Cormac, if he takes the piling on, he'll use it judiciously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will he suffer with the 3 warriors on movement 4 against all the elves, do you think?
Yes. But,
All right, let's move on. No.
I mean, so his first opponent is Flavius, who's Dark
right.
Elves. And actually, there are 2 Dark Elf teams. So we talk about the speed of the elves. They're not that fast,
Yeah.
Only...
the key warrior here, I think, is the tentacle one.
Yeah. The way he uses tents is amazing.
Yeah. In those matchups, he really will be, trying to get that player hugging as many sort of critical elves as possible.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Old Smiley Nick. I should have, when I met Carmack a couple of weeks ago, and I should have asked him more about his team name, but we're in company, so we could nerd out completely. Okay.
Well, I can tell you that the team players are all people within the company he works for, right?
I should have added that. Yeah. So all these players apparently are named after people he works with. So some of the backstories, some of these could be quite interesting, I think. But anyway, moving on to javelins. Wolves of the Calla. They're next. They're Necro. They're coming in at 1860, 120k in the bank. He's got a squad of 13, as you can see. We'll come back to them in a moment. He's got the bear stand, which you might expect given the Wolves. And he's coming in at 48, 33, 27, which is, good. So, I mean, the standout players here, obviously, are Roland the Second. He's pretty cool. He's AG4, Mighty Blow Wolf. And Randall, of course, who's the top scoring player in our fantasy football competition last season. As a ball carrier par excellence, I think is a phrase I could use about him. Danton, you go first. Then what do you?
Well,
what do you think?
I was going to say. I mean, he's not really. I wouldn't say he's like the perfect ball carrier. He's definitely a very solid ball carrier. It's still AG3. He's still just movement 7. Like if he had some stat ups, or was faster or whatever, then he definitely would be a better ball carrier. But he's just a solid all round kind of ghoul that you can, a bit of a Swiss Army knife. You can use him to get that guard into an important spot, or obviously, he's a decent ball carrier for sure. But the second wolf, even though it's only rolled normals, is still a very good piece. Wolves, obviously getting stats and doubles on wolves, it makes them into amazing pieces. But just rolling normals still turns it into a pretty solid piece as well.
Exactly. This is a normal wolf, isn't it? But I think everyone would love this wolf to be on the team.
In fact, if you look at the team, there's 2 doubles and 1 stat across the whole team, which is not very much considering the number of games they've played.
No, I mean there might be some attrition. Wolves never seem to last as long as you think they ought to, being armor 8. But
I mean, here the team is really solid. Obviously the rookie flesh golem is always a pain to level up again, and that's a slight weakness. And he's got another white who's also being rebuilt. So 2 of the positionals are on the rebuilding path. Although he might be able to score a touchdown quite early with the other one. Probably just give it. Well, you could either give it Mighty Blow or Stand Firm, depending on your choice. But the team is solid.
Yeah, I think 3 Stand Firm on Necro is kind of the sweet spot, right? So I'd be willing to see Mighty Blow go next on the.
And that'll help him to get to the next level quicker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Was Javelin the guy who had a strength 4 zombie as well? Did he? Or was that someone else?
That sounds plausible.
It sounds like, because I remember his front line was basically the 2 golems and a strength 4 zombie at some point, but I might have misremembered that.
No, I think that's Hill Nick. You're thinking about Hill Nick.
Right, fair enough. Okay, next one is Dalibor. I think he's played a game, that's why he's got some arrows going up. But Dalibor is one of the 2, I think, Dark Elf coaches here. He's missing 2 already. He's currently at 1690, 170k in the bank, so that's going to change for week 2.
He's not played his game this.
Yeah,
this
Oh, he's not played his game. Oh, right.
There's been one game played so far in champs.
Oh,
And that
right.
was-
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Thanks. No stadium upgrade. He's coming in at probably the best record we've seen so far, 58, 25, 16. And yeah, his roster looks like this. So he's down to 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. 8 players. So he'll have, what will his TV, thanks.
Counting with Ethel.
Counting with Ethel. What, so what TV will he be? So he'll have 8 players, so that he's a 3. So 3 times 7, 21.
210, yeah.
So, yeah. So 210, so 1800 you'll be at.
No.
Plus the 20 for the bank, right? So
1800?
1780.
No.
Well, just
What's
tell
the
me.
team-
Don't drag
What's
it
the
out.
team value at the moment? I can't see it because
It's-
1690. Oh, yeah. Cornight's head is
head
annoying.
is obscuring it.
1690. Thanks. 1690 is that. Good work. 1690.
Oh, he's got 20k bloat in the bank.
Yeah.
May as well. You may
Come
as
on then,
well.
Danson. Do the maths.
It's 1900. It's 1900 or 1880 without
You
the
may as well
backbone.
buy alignment. You may as well buy alignment to bring down the.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Anyway, his standout player is the Witch Elf, of course, but she is niggled, which isn't great, being armor 7, but survived so
He's
far.
a massive.
Oh, no.
target for everyone.
No, sorry, not niggled.
Move and bust.
The classic plus move, minus move. That's what confused
That's
me.
like half my team.
That's fine. That's just amusing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she's pretty good, isn't she? Tackle.
I mean, I mentioned that the Dark Elves are slow, and both witches have movement ups. Luckily, one of them's been movement down as well, so they're not that fast.
Yeah, and I mean, just for argument's sake, Elia, she's movement 8, got a level to come. If it's not a double,
Sidestep.
and if it is a double,
Yeah, I think he has enough. If it is a double, you could either go Mighty Blow or Jugs, probably.
The other one's already got jugs, so I don't think you want 2 jugs, do you?
Does
the other one's got the other one's got Mighty Blow.
The other one's got Mighty Blow as well.
Got both.
Oh
of
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I would go Mighty Blow probably then on a double.
Maybe guard.
Nah, not on the witch.
No.
I wouldn't put guard on a witch. But then,
More guard.
Yeah, but armor 7 guard's not.
Yeah, but you just surround the armor 7 guard with the armor 8 guard,
Oh,
and it's,
yeah,
and it's
just here we go again with the just surround your player who's got guard who's armor 7 with other players.
Yeah. You know,
Do you
It's,
even elf? Do you even elf, Corn Knight?
a normal is definitely sidestep because this is your one turner as well.
yeah.
Movement,
Yeah.
movement 8.
Ooh, maybe even sure feet if you're
Yeah.
really going hard on the one turn.
Well, I think you need a one turner, don't you?
I'd
This level,
rather the sidestep to make the pushes easier and it's just more useful generally.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, short feet has its general uses too, right? But yeah.
Yeah, but short feet can also murder the player.
I mean, he must be gutted. His strength 4 lineman, who's got guard as well, is niggled. That's really annoying, but you're gonna keep him.
Yeah.
That's really frustrating because he's going to be a target. He was a target before, but now he's even more of a target, and niggled not going to help. And that wrestler's just MNG, so that's kind of fine. But yeah, so yeah, strong, quite well developed elf team. I mean, we've not even talked about the AG5 leaper that he's got as well. With I think
That's the ball recovery, right?
Yeah.
So
sure
The
hands.
team was even stronger at one point, but he has lost a few players.
yeah, I think that movement up witch used to be a leaping witch as well, right? Well, I might be.
Yeah.
He also plays Dark Elves in UKBBL, where I also face him.
mixing the team up.
So I might be mixing up.
He definitely lost 1 or 2 very leveled up blitzers as well.
Yeah. Although he's got guard on 2 of them now, so that's pretty handy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that means that he's a Dark Elf specialist if he's playing Dark Elves in 2 places. I think he played Dark Elves in CCL as well.
I
So
think he's pretty good at Dark Elves, isn't he? So
Definitely. I mean, I wouldn't say he just plays Dark Elves because he doesn't, but I think it is one of his main races for sure.
all right, next elf team is Wood Elves. We saw how the Wood Elves started and ended the season last year, which led to that team not being existing really, had 3 players left, I think, by the end of it. So this is the hopefuls as they look right now. 1760, 120k in the bank. 12 players. They've got no enhancement, and they're coming in at they're coming in at 37, 13, 22. But what do they have? Well, movement 10 catcher, movement 9 catcher. Tree's pretty basic. AG5 war dancer. Some guard on the one guard on one of the linos. Another one strength 4. So no, not awful linemen. Catchers are pretty good. One's a rookie. And yeah, mighty blow strip tackle war dancer, which is going to be a right pain in the arse for everyone to cope with. But yeah, there you go.
I mean, the Edge 5 war dancer is armor 6, so you know he's going to have to protect that, which is not an easy piece to protect.
Hey, Gruff.
Hey, Gruff. Yeah, and the classic rolled a double on a movement up catcher, and now is halfway between being a really important on-field pitch and actual natural one.
Yeah, yeah.
Problem.
I mean, it's kind of a nice problem to have, isn't it? But when you rolled a double,
I mean,
that catcher. I mean, Nerves of Steel perhaps could have been better than guard, maybe, but you can't
still
anticipate.
Use the guard. You can still use the guard like tactically on very key turns, right? So it is a guard that you can get almost anywhere on the pitch at a key moment. You're not going to be jamming it in the middle of a scrum just for the sake of having a guard there, but you can get it. Let's say you're trying to make a sideline push and you need a guard to be able to get 2 dice on the blitz. I mean, it's a piece that can give you that. Or if you're just carrying the ball on it and people are marking it, then it helps the blitz pieces off it as well.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
It's not horrible.
I definitely prefer it to Ethelred's suggestion of Nerves of Steel on the catcher, which is.
Well, I'm just thinking, he's got catch. If he's marked, then it's a double you can pick.
I mean, it's not Nerves of Steel is not terrible, but guard is just better, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, it is.
Nerves of Steel is pretty nice when you get it for free on Pro Elf catches, but I'd almost never pick it on a.
The only other player that you really consider it on is maybe a Dark Elf runner at some point.
Yeah.
It can't because of the dump off. But otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, so he's pretty good. I mean, I like these players most in Blood Bowl because they start in one direction and then the coach has got a dilemma about how to develop them after the guard here. It's like, oh god, how do I go now? And then to get movement again at the end, it's like, oh, okay. So kind of different direction.
It definitely needs sure feet though.
Yeah. And it's 73 SVP away from getting sure feet.
A long way from sure feet, but
I don't know. It's not that long. Few 1 turns.
Yeah, I suppose he's going to be
21 turns.
He's going to be a bit of a hog, isn't he, for SVP?
Because he has the sidestep, you definitely want to, I think, with the 1 turns, you want to be trying to, chain push him, but 1 or 2 squares closer if you can.
Yeah. Avoid actually making any GFIs.
I mean, just really quickly, the tree's only got 1 level, but it has got grab, so that obviously helps with the 1 turn as well, which is nice. But yeah, okay, cool. There we go. Oh, come on, been a bit slow.
It'll be interesting to see how he plays. I don't.
Yeah, have you seen it near much play?
I don't remember. All the Wood Elf coaches last season are blurring in my mind because there was more than one, right? There was also.
Yeah, I think he's got a really decent team on paper, but it'll come down to probably how good he is in terms of how well the team does.
It's an okay team. I actually think that Elves or Wood Elves survive better in bashier divisions. Having to face against Dark Elves and High Elves and Orcs is not really, and that Necro team, none of them are going to be good.
Yeah, the Orcs.
Oh, I dread to think. The Orcs potentially.
The Orc team is an elf team's nightmare.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's carry on and get to them eventually. So it's everyone's favourite Floridian, next, Kinroth. He's got
And
beautiful time.
the game that's been played was the
It's
high
his.
off
Yeah.
between Kinroth and Gimlick. So
Gimlick.
the next two teams have played their first games.
So he comes in at 2030, 120k in the bank. He's got Wizard Stadium, which is great, and coming in again even better than Dalibor's record, I think 36, 20, 15. Coming in at. So yeah, I mean we know he's a good coach. Any standout players for you? I mean the blitzers are a bit injured, but not awfully.
What stands out about this team is not so much any individual player, but the fact that it has 6 card pieces, right?
Yeah.
I mean that, and remember when we were you were in champs the last time he was there with me, right, Cornite, or were you not there?
Yeah, it was. Well, I think so.
He had 6 guard at that time when the season started. I think he ended the season with 3 or 4.
I think no. Didn't he start with 7 and then he lost more?
Was it 7? I thought it was
Yeah,
6.
I think it was 7.
I have a feeling I may have nobbled one of them. I can't remember. I remember he used to have the thrower who was like blood sidestep guard, but
Yeah.
it moved bust. It was move 5, I think, and eventually, obviously, he had to get rid of that. But the team is incredibly solid.
Yeah, there's not much else to say. I mean, there's the blitzers are kind of injured, but armor bust from AV8 to AV7 when you've already got 4 AV7 players is not that big a deal, and they're all blodge step. Most of the guarders are blodge or rog at least, and there's quite
The only thing I'd say is that people will definitely be targeting those blitzers. I think because they are both key pieces, and if he loses one or both of those blitzers, or even MNGs on them, I think will definitely weaken the team considerably.
I mean, those injuries come because people have been targeting them before they got injured. Now they're AV7, it's even more likely. Especially the Agi 5 leaping it's a real issue to deal with, right?
Yeah. No tackle on that piece though, but yeah, still a threat. Okay. Next one is Gimlick, as you say, has played already. He's at the moment 1790. 11 players. 12 players for his game after next. No enhancement, and he's coming in at 38.917, which is again an excellent record. Yeah, I mean, compare and contrast these two high elf teams, right? So he's got a movement 10 catcher, who's absolutely fantastic. He's got sprint as well, as we can see. One of his blitzers is out. He's the piling on mighty blower, and I imagine he did that to Kinroth, and then Kinroth fouled the shit out of it. Hence why he's injured. Could be wrong, but that's my guess. And yeah, again, I think a fairly solidly built high elf team, right?
Or remember Kinroth does have a mighty blow tackle blitzer, so he could have.
Yeah, I mean he does, but
could have nobbled it with that.
But yeah,
this is Blood Bowl. It could have been a plain vanilla lineman that hit it and it just exploded.
Yeah.
Or just a failed dodge.
I do prefer this team. Like I would rather have the stat freaks on this team make this more exciting to me.
I think on paper, I would have bet on this team to win.
6 guard.
Yeah, six guard is.
This is the thing with a team like Kinroth's team. You just have to have a big rolling mole of elves, and it's virtually impossible to do a lot against it with all the guards stuffed in there.
Yeah, as well-positioned guard is really hard to deal with, even with Agi 5 and Strength 4.
Gimlick's team is a team that needs to kind of spread out a bit more. He's only got the 2 guard that he can strategically use, but Kinroth's team is just like, come on, take me on, and then whatever you do, he's just out guarding you, and unless you're the orcs, you're in for a bad time.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, right. Talking of the orcs,
I think you're right. I think literally the orcs are the only team with more guard.
Well, let's have a look. So Papa Nastia's Brilliant Green, 2060, 170k in the bank, so you can take 20 off that.
They don't look quite as brilliant as they used to look.
No, they've had a bit of attrition, 3 rerolls. I think 12 players. No riot, no pitch invasion. Nice reference there for Angbad. And I think the best record in terms of losses we've seen so far, 35, 13, 6. I'm not going to get my calculator out to work out win percentages for these teams, but that's pretty good. And yeah, I mean, he lost last season, I think, a couple of Black Orcs maybe, and I'm pretty sure he lost a Blitzer as well. Although looking at these, maybe it was just an MNG because they look pretty developed to me.
Last season there was a lot more claw in the division though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still no troll, although he has got the goblin as well. But yeah, I mean, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guard. I think he was up to 10, wasn't he, before? I think he had more. But yeah, 9 guard is quite hard. And
he's got 4 blitzers, so and they're all very developed. So he hasn't lost any blitzers.
No.
But there is 1 Black Orc who's has he missed? Has he only got 3 Black Orcs? Oh no, he's got 1 down the bottom.
There's 1 down the bottom as well, cunningly.
Yeah, the block only Black Orc is 6 games old, so he's started new.
He's fairly new, isn't he?
And interestingly, hang on a second. 1.
I think he had more linemen as well. I think he had more of a bench going into the season last season.
Yeah, I mean he's got a couple of very nice linemen though. One with they both have guard, which is obviously great, but neither of them have block.
Yeah, second double alignment, stand firm.
Yeah, I mean it tallies with.
I think it works
guard,
well
suppose,
with the rest of the team. Yeah, I mean it's just a pity that it might never even get to block, but
it's a long
it's
way
annoying.
from block, isn't it?
It's annoying if you have the big wall of stand firm and that's in there.
I mean, you know, I think dodge would be more annoying, and you know, and then you can get blocked.
Although it'd be interesting if it actually. I wonder if it had the move bust before he got the double or not. Because actually, with the move bust, I'd almost rather have the stand firm because it's like I'm sticking you there and just leaving you there. If you know.
Stay there. Stand up every time you get knocked down. But other than that, we're not too worried.
So this guy's HE2, right? So if he jumps up and blocks, that's a 4 plus, 5 plus?
Plus. 3 plus.
3 plus. Okay, that's not too bad.
The 3 plus.
And if he blitzes, he can do it for free, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Just wanted to check that. Okay. Great. So yeah, strong contenders here. Again, spiraling expenses will be hitting him a little bit, but as I say, he's got a much bigger bank than some of the other players. So, I mean, does he spend 50 of that on another lineman, do you think, going in, just to give him a bit more bench? Or does he...
I think it depends on who he's facing. I can't remember who he's facing.
It does depend on that. I mean, he could always buy the troll, but if he's never had the troll before, then I don't see it.
I can't remember him having a troll before, Corn.
You know, he's not ever had the troll.
Not ever had one.
but every time the goblin dies, he buys a new goblin.
He does like a goblin.
But just the one.
Just the one.
I mean, you know, I guess he uses it probably as a fouling piece and just, you know, there are situations where the goblin could just be useful.
It's nice having a 40k bench as well. It's the least you can spend on a bench player, and you know, and orcs, they do, you know, you lose a player sometimes. It doesn't matter whether you're AV9 or not.
Yeah.
So having a spare player is nice.
Just to KOs, really. I mean,
I would like to have a troll though. I think.
Well, I'm with you, Cornac, because I think a troll would really benefit how he plays, because again, it's someone to anchor the line.
You just need guard on it.
Yeah, more strength and a guard player.
More strength, another guard player, first skill, and you don't have to do anything with him apart from maybe occasionally move him, but it's just going to really help. I would have thought, but obviously Papa thinks differently.
I'm a big fan of a troll on an orc team.
Mm. Okay, well,
especially in leagues. In leagues, it's not like it's TV matchmaking, right? You know,
no,
and also he's bloating the team up massively. He's getting to as big as he can. He might as well go that last step.
Go all in, yeah. Okay, next, I don't really want to call Carmack's team a bully team, but the third the third Bash team, I guess, in the division is Balls is Nurgle. Which
I mean, I'd argue that Javelin's Necro are more bashy than
He's
than Carmack's team. But anyway,
Balls' team has lost, I think, two of its Pestigors, two of its most leveled up Pestigors against Kinroth. It might have been last season.
Yeah.
This team was a lot more killy than it is now.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got one who's piling on Mighty Blow Claw, but now Movement 5. I mean, AG2 doesn't really make that much of a difference, but Movement 5 is probably the worst, inverted commas, thing about him. Especially he's going to be trying to be chasing elves, and no tackle there either.
He's a Blood Bowl 2020 rotter, isn't he? Yeah.
But, except you can't get piling on it.
Yeah. I didn't do the thing. So yeah, 1470 coming in, but he's got 3 players MNG for the first game. He's got the Riot and Pitch Invasion cancelled.
I mean,
27, 10, 8.
I think this team is going to struggle. It
2 tackle. Yeah.
Last season, it was in really good shape. And then he just lost 2 Pestigors that were very leveled up, and now the team is a shell of its former self, I think.
I mean, it's still it's still an 1800 team with 13 players, and it's still functional. It's still pretty good. I don't think it's terrible.
Oh yeah, for sure it's functional, but I just don't see it competing for like top 3.
Again, I'll draw people's attention to the fact it has nothing special. 0 doubles or agi skills on this team, which is interesting.
Yeah, although to be fair, Nurgle don't really need that. I mean, it's sometimes nice to have a Pestigor who's a stat freak, but otherwise they don't really need that.
And less guard than the high elves.
Yeah, I mean, I think the elves aren't going to struggle too much against this team. I mean, obviously there's the Death Spiral, but it's more the hybrid and other Bash teams that are going to struggle perhaps against this team. But yeah, I think it's going to be tough. If he's got L's first game as well, we'll have a look at those in a minute. But if he's got L's first game, missing his 2 tackles could hurt. I mean, in my experience, if you've got Blodge, it's a lie. So they roll pals anyway. But
he's got Dalibor.
Yeah, he's got Dalibor. I think Dalibor's going to clean the floor with him, to be honest. But, there we go. Okay. So yeah, and then finally, Flavius's Dark Elves. No bank, 1460 coming in, missing 2 players, his runner and a witch. He doesn't have any enhancements, and again, I think the best record so far, again, 26-3-7, which is pretty meteoric, really, if you think about it, straight up from the depths of Tier 6 all the way to the champs, without a break, I think. 3 guard, missing a runner, who I think is just MNG, and the witch presumably is just MNG as well, so nothing too permanent on this team, but not that many skills on his development players. I mean, do you think that he'll suffer this season because of that, or
again,
make use of his inducements?
He has lost at least 1 blitzer recently. Player number 2
Madros,
is new, I think. And the one above, and the player above him, I think, is not very many games old either.
Yeah, Madros is brand new. Yeah, he's not even played a game yet.
And the other one was halfway through the previous season, so he did have a more developed team again. But Tier 1 puts teams through the ringer before they get a chance to get to champs, right?
He's going to be getting plenty of inducements. I mean, to me, what stands out about this team is A, he has 2 runners, and B, they both have guard, which is very unusual. But other than that, I think the team is just a little bit light compared to the other elf teams, and he might struggle a little bit.
It's going to be hard for me because I think Dalibor and Fladius are 2 coaches I rate quite highly, and I think they can both do a lot with their teams, even when they're missing a lot of players. And this is a great example of that. I think Fladius will do well.
For sure, they can do a lot, but I just think if you look at the other teams in the division, this as a team, I can see this struggling because a lot of the other teams have good coaches as well. Maybe like you say, Palladius is good enough to just get that little bit extra out of this team. But still, I think he's in for a tough season.
Okay, so I guess before we look at who's playing, what are people saying about who's going to win? So I think Corner, you've got the Psychic Bastard thread open. So is any front runners for people who think they're going to win the champs before we do our predictions?
Okay, so the first two people I look at, which is Danton and Lehman, both have Kielstad in the top three, which is unsurprising. I think Lehman Russ has just picked coaches who have won it before. He's got Kielstad, Carmack, and Kinroth, right? They've all won OCC with him.
Kinroth has not won OCC.
Oh, Kinroth hasn't. Was it Gimlick that won?
Gimlick did.
I think
Yeah.
Okay. Getting my high up mixed up.
I think I picked Papanastia to win it, didn't I?
You did pick him to win, yeah, but you have Kielstad second and Kinroth in third, and then Iltanir. Hawks is going for Brilliant Green as well, followed by Carmack and Kielstad. And Swedo is going Brilliant Green as well, followed by Kielstad and Kinroth.
Same as me.
Yeah. Ethelred's going for Palladius and Gimlick, which, yeah. But yeah, and I went for Kinroth, Carmack, and Dalibor in that order.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't think there's anyone on here, with the exception perhaps of the Nurgle, that I don't think can win it, really. I mean, it's Wood Elves, maybe, because they're not...
Ilsnir is appearing in the last position of a lot of these...
Yeah.
I picked him as my coming last, mostly because I think quite often what happens, the team that comes last is a team that gets absolutely decimated fairly early on, and I think that team is the team that it's most likely to happen to. You know, a couple of key removals to that Wood Elf team, and it's
back to normal, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's broadly true of almost any team, right? Almost any team could have a couple of terrible losses and be significantly worse, and therefore, you know, have a problem for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's quite. I think it'd be quite an interesting season, and I hope it's close, and I hope it goes down to the last game this time instead of the game 8, I think, where it was decided last time. But yeah, there are a lot of good coaches there. I mean, I think the Orcs, like you're saying, has got a really high potential if they can get the damage in, and I think that's quite an anti-elf side. I think you said that, didn't you, Danton?
Yeah, there's only two. There's only two like big claw teams. I mean, I suppose the Necro obviously have Mighty Blood Claw, but they don't have the claw density that Cormac and Bulls have. But those are the only. I mean, I'm not sure about in terms of schedule when he faces those two teams.
There's more to just being clawed to lose, right? Vampires should probably beat the Orcs, and the Wood Elves. You talk about like Orcs being elf killers, but you know Wood Elves can still win games even when they've lost players, right? So you know it's not going to be plain sailing, and we make a lot of the general rock paper scissors nature of Blood Bowl, but you know, I think almost any of these teams could do well or do badly in equal measure, depending on the luck of the dice and how games go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's look at week 1. One game's been played, which is won by Kinroth, as I say. So yeah, just tell me who's fancied out of these two then. So Sabretooth Vaj versus Fina and Sons. How's the betting looking?
The betting is actually dead even at the moment. A couple of people going for Carmack, a couple for Palladius, and slightly more people are going for the draw.
Okay.
I went for the draw.
Okay. I would like to see Carmack win it, but I think this is a terrible matchup for his Chaos team. This is, you know, exactly the problem of a Claw Bash team facing an Elf team at its hardest.
I can't remember who I went for that one. I can't remember
I don't
anything,
know.
to be honest.
Just think Carmack, I think, is good enough to get a draw here, especially as the Dark Elves are a little bit weakened now.
You went for Carmack,
Who did?
Ethel.
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 Okay, Wolves of the Cala versus Bats of Back. I think the Vamps are slightly fancied here, maybe, more than the Necro. How's it looking?
It's just slightly in favour of the Necro with 4 votes to 2. The most common vote is actually for the draw. So there's more people going for draws than for any of the other options.
Okay. Next one is Dark Elves versus Nurgle. So Darkside Evolution OCC versus BB3 delayed to 2023. I think we've said already.
Literally everyone has gone for Dalibor on this one.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. 11 votes for Dalibor and only the bots clicking on the other icons.
See, it makes me tempted to switch, but I mean, yeah.
I mean, no offense to Bulls, but I think Dalibor is a better coach.
I
think the
agree.
team matchup favours the Dark Elves.
Yeah.
The fact that the Nurgle are
both their tackle
players favours the Dark Elves. It's like if Bulls wins this, then it would be very impressive.
Yeah. So there you go, Bulls.
Or a complete dicing.
Or a dicing.
Or dicing. And then the last one that's not played, Garden of Even versus Brilliant Green.
Yeah, again, I think
that one.
Everyone is going for the Orcs in this one.
Yeah.
This is one where there is one outlier, and that is in fact you, Ethel, and you have gone for the Wood Elves. I don't think this is a bad shout. In fact, the bot prefers the Wood Elves as well. I think in terms of, I don't think it's crazy for the Wood Elves to win this. I think the chances are the Orcs do, but
yeah, I mean, the only reason I've gone for that is, we've all played bash teams against elves where we don't get the removals in the first half or just KOs, and then come second half, it's all over because you can't stop them. So
yeah.
Plus, the Woodies are probably getting some inducements, right? They can probably get a wizard.
They get a wizard, yeah, at least they get a wizard and Eldril, almost certainly would be my guess.
Yeah, and they have an Edge 5, so they can definitely. I think at least get a draw if things,
Yeah, it's like the votes are 10-1 in either direction with no one on a draw, and I think that is completely unreflective of the odds of the outcome.
I think I'm going to change. I'm going to change to a draw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's got the one turner as well, and that definitely increases the odds of getting a draw.
Okay, right. Let's quickly go through